Let's be real. Publishing your nonfiction book is a big deal. But with the wrong publisher, it can turn into your biggest regret. Before you sign any contracts or hand over your manuscript, watch this video. I'm breaking down the biggest mistake authors make when choosing a publisher, especially if your book is meant to grow your business, build authority, and actually make you money. Hi there. If we haven't met yet, I'm Ellie Shefi, 10-time international best-selling author, publisher, business strategist, and attorney. I help entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and change makers just like you turn their expertise into powerful books that scale their business, grow their brand, and leave a lasting impact. And today, I'm gonna help you avoid the costly mistakes I see over and over again. Mistake number 1, not getting clear on the outcomes you want. Now, let's start with the biggest mistake I see, and it happens before you ever hire a publisher. Mistake number 1 is you're not clear on what you want your book to actually do for you. Too many people think that writing the book is the goal. It's not. Writing the book is just the beginning. So what matters more is what the book is meant to do once it's out in the world. Ask yourself, do you want your book to bring in new clients? Do you want to land media appearances or build credibility in a new space? Do you want it to become the cornerstone of your brand, a powerful tool to scale your business? Or is it more of a legacy project, something deeply personal that you're putting out for your family or your community? Answering these questions is critical because here's what happens if you're not clear on the outcomes you want your book to achieve. You'll release a book that flops. You'll have poured your heart and soul into a book that goes nowhere. You'll end up choosing the wrong publishing path, working with the wrong people, and launching a book that doesn't do any of the things you hoped it would. I've seen it 100 times. Books with beautiful covers that flop. Books with great content that lead nowhere. Books that cost thousands and don't even return a dime. Not because the author didn't care, but because no one ever helped them get clear on their goals from the start. You see, your goals drive everything. Your content, your structure, your format, your timeline, your strategy, even your choice of publisher. So before you even think about who's publishing your book, get radically clear on why you're writing it in the first place. Because if you don't define that, you'll hand your power over to someone who will. And that's how great books turn into wasted opportunities. Let's move on to the next big mistake, not understanding your publishing options. Now, most people think they only have 2 choices. Traditional publishing, where you get a literary agent to shop your book proposal around, and then if you're one of the chosen few, a big name company publishes your book. Or self-publishing, where you do everything yourself and hope for the best. But the truth is that's a massive oversimplification. There are actually 5 distinct publishing paths, and each one comes with its own pros, cons, and strategic implications for your brand and your business. Now, not all publishing paths are created equal. Your book has a purpose, and your publishing path should support that. If you want to learn more about the 5 publishing paths, go check out my full video, The 5 Publishing Paths, Pros, Cons, and How to Choose the Right One for You. It'll walk you through each path and share how to choose the one that's right for you based on your goals, budget, and business strategy. Because when you pick the wrong path, you waste time, money, and opportunity. And that's a mistake I don't want you to make. Mistake number 3, picking a publisher who doesn't understand business. Listen, any publisher can get your book out into the world, but that's not enough. Not if you're writing a nonfiction book to grow your business. Your book isn't just a book. It's a lead generation tool, a credibility booster, a bridge to your offers, your programs, your keynotes, and your brand. If your publisher doesn't understand client acquisition, client connection, and client conversion, if they don't understand strategic positioning, meaning how you show up, as the expert in your space. If they don't understand funnels, meaning how your book brings readers into your world and turns them into clients. If they don't understand messaging, meaning how your story aligns with your services. And if they don't understand visibility, meaning how your book builds omnipresence and authority in your niche, well, then you'll just end up with a book that's pointless. And I've seen that too many times. Books that look great on a shelf, but do nothing for the author's brand, income, or impact. A business book that doesn't support the business is a broken asset. So here's what to ask. How specifically will this book drive business growth? If your publisher doesn't have a strategic answer to that question, you're talking to the wrong one. Mistake number 4, chasing bookstore distribution over strategy. Now, let's talk about a trap that looks like success, but can quietly sabotage your entire launch. Chasing bookstore distribution instead of strategy. Now, I get it. You dream of walking into Barnes & Noble and seeing your book on the shelf, maybe snapping a proud photo. And hey, that can be a great moment. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Most books in bookstores don't sell. They sit. They collect dust. They get returned to the publisher, often at the author's expense. Because bookstore distribution doesn't mean visibility, and it definitely doesn't mean impact. If you're a coach, consultant, speaker, or expert, your book's power isn't in sitting on the bookstore shelf. It's in your funnels. It's on podcasts, media appearances, and stages. It's in the hands of your ideal clients. I've worked with so many authors who've said, Ellie, I paid to get into stores, and no one bought the book. It didn't bring in clients. I got 0 ROI. That's unfortunately an all too common phenomenon. So instead of chasing a bookstore shelf, chase strategy. Does your book position you as the go-to expert in your niche by sharing a methodology that solves a problem your ideal client knows they have and are actively seeking a solution for? Does your book align with your offers and your business goals? Does it convert readers into clients and generate opportunities for you? Because that's the real win, and that takes strategy, not shelf space. So before you chase the bookstore dream, ask yourself, is this about my ego or my impact? Now, before we dive into the next mistake, let me pause and ask you something else. Have you already published your book? If so, what's one thing you wish you knew before you started? Drop it in the comments. Seriously, I read every one. Because the truth is, you're not the only one learning this the hard way. And if you haven't published yet, what's your biggest fear about choosing a publisher? Let's open the conversation. Because the more we talk about this, the fewer authors will get burned. All right, ready for the next mistake authors make? Let's go. Mistake number 5, falling for cookie cutter packages. Now, let's talk about a mistake that breaks my heart, because I made it myself. I fell for cookie cutter publishing packages. When I was publishing my first book, I didn't know what I didn't know. So I found a company that promised to make everything easy. Editing, design, publishing. They had a neat package and website looked okay. I thought I was in good hands. But what I got was a generic cover that didn't reflect my book, my brand, or me at all. They didn't even read my book. They didn't even ask me about my ideal client or my business goals. There was no strategic input, no brand alignment, no personalization, and absolutely no real support. Then they gave me 6 generic interior design templates that all looked like elementary school books. None of them reflected my book, my message, my brand, or me. Again, they didn't even read my book. They didn't ask about my ideal client or my business goals. It was simply, choose one of these 6 designs. And worse yet, their done-for-you package was gonna take my manuscript and put it in their back end where I'd have no access and no control. I don't think so. So trust me when I say, I've lived this. And that's exactly why I do things differently in my own publishing house. Here's the hard truth. These publishing companies use the same process for everyone. Same templates, same timelines, same tired strategies. And what happens? Your story gets watered down, your voice gets muted, your book ends up looking and sounding like everyone else's, and your credibility gets torpedoed. If you're here to stand up, show up, and serve, you can't afford that. If you're a speaker, consultant, or expert, your book is not just a book. It's a tool to build trust, attract clients, and open doors. That means you need a custom strategy, brand-aligned visuals, and a publishing partner who actually understands your bigger vision and is committed to helping you bring it to life. So before you swipe your card for a package deal, ask yourself, is everything truly designed and customized for me, or am I just another transaction? Mistake number 6, ignoring ownership and rights. Now let me be crystal clear about this next one because it can cost you everything. Mistake number 6 is ignoring your ownership and your rights. Now when you sign with a publisher, please read the fine print, because what you don't understand about your contract can absolutely come back to bite you. I've seen authors lose the rights to their book, the ability to republish their own content, control over pricing and distribution, and in some cases, even the right to use their own intellectual property in a course, a program, or an event. Let that sink in. Imagine pouring your heart, your soul, and your expertise into a book, and then having to ask permission to use your own words again. It's more common than you think. And it's one of the biggest regrets authors come to me with when they're trying to relaunch their book. Now, not all publishing houses are predatory, but many absolutely are. Some hide unfair exclusivity clauses in their contracts. Others quietly take a cut of everything you do with your book, even when they've done nothing to help you succeed. So what should you do? Get clear on the rights that you're giving up and the rights that you're keeping. Be sure to ask, who owns the copyright? Do I get my final files? Can I repurpose the content in talks or programs? Where is my manuscript housed? Who gets the sales reports, tax papers, and royalties? And what happens if I want to walk away? If they can't give you clear, empowering answers, run. Because your words, your ideas, and your brand are your assets. Don't give them away just because someone offered to publish you. You're building a business and a legacy. Protect it. Mistake number 7, choosing the wrong publishing partner. So now let's talk about the one mistake that hurts the most. Choosing the wrong publishing partner. Because when you choose the wrong partner, you don't just lose money, you lose time, trust, and momentum. You second guess yourself. You stop showing up, and your message, the one that you know could help so many people, stays locked inside a book you're no longer proud of. I've had authors come to me with tears in their eyes saying, I did everything they told me to do, but nothing worked. They promised support and they disappeared after I paid. They made my book feel small, like it didn't matter. I get it. I've been there too. I once paid a publisher who tried to steal my IP. And when I finally got my first book back from them, the cover was generic, the experience was impersonal, and the final product didn't represent me at all. I couldn't release it into the world. And that's when everything changed. Because I knew I wasn't alone. I knew I wasn't the only woman with a powerful message who got burned. So I built the publishing house I wish I had had back then. Women-owned, women-led, built to protect your intellectual property, amplify your voice, and position your book as a business asset that creates real results. I was called the defender in school. And the attorney in me can't stand seeing people get taken advantage of. So if any of this feels familiar, if you trusted the wrong team, if your book didn't turn out the way you had hoped, or if you're just now realizing that you deserve better, then this isn't the end of your book journey. It's the pivot point. You're not alone, and it's not too late. Your voice matters, and your story deserves to be told powerfully and strategically. Click the link below and let's connect. I'd love to hear more about your why, your mission, and the impact you're here to make. Together, we can strategically craft a book that creates the business and the legacy you desire.